Hey everybody, it's Kendall and Niece. What y'all doing? All right, so I'm coming to you with a new show. I have done something similar before on maybe TikTok or other platforms. On this channel, talking to my boy Leroy McKenzie Jr. and all the people that I know. I have a lot of stories, right? I have a lot of things that have happened to me, some with famous people, some with people you recognize, some silly stories, some funny stories, some shocking stories. So many different stories I have to tell. Y'all know how people say, I got stories to tell. Well, I do. I have a lot of stories to tell. And my boy Libra and I, which will be doing our show a little later, more than just a movie, I always seem to tell my stories between him and Basine and so many other people that know me know my stories. And they're like, girl, you need to put these stories in a book. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to put them in the book, but I'm going to share some of the stories with you. So it'll be probably every Wednesday. I'll come with what had happened was, and I'll begin to tell the story. So this is the inaugural, this is a light little teaser version of that show. Let's get it. So I don't know if you heard me because my mic fell. So if you didn't, I'm going to tell you again. So this is the inaugural version or episode, I should say, of what had happened was real life stories. I got a lot of stories to tell. I got some where I talk about Jam Master Jay, LL Cool J, um, other different stories that you will be excited to hear. Maybe who I went to the prom with, I can tell that story, and so many different stories. I have a story to tell. So the show again will be, I believe I'm going to make that every Wednesday, but I just jumped on here to tell you about the show. So you'll hear real life stories from me. Like I said, some of them are shocking, some of them will have you cracking up, some of them will surprise you, but I'm going to share some of my real life with you. I'm 51, so trust me, I got some stories to tell. Growing up in Jersey and the experiences that I've had, such as dancing on TV, um, almost in a video, a Will Smith video, an audition for that. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about my experience with the LL Cool J video. I'll talk about my almost love affair with Jam Master Jay. Rest in paradise. I'll talk about a lot of different stories, and you will be shocked. Be like, Kendall, Anise, what? So, but today I'm going, hey, today I'm just going to kick it off with a light story. And then next week we will be on and popping. I said that I would do what had happened was every Wednesday, but it may be another day of the week. We're going to go with Wednesdays now. This is a sneak preview, and then we're going to go ahead and kick it off. All right. So the reason why I wanted to bring this story to you first, because it's sweet, it's cute, and I was telling my students about this yesterday. So I'm teaching summer school, and I have fourth grade, all the kids going to fourth grade. So I was talking about what had happened to me in the fourth grade. Kendall, what had happened to you in the fourth grade? That was the first time I was engaged to be married. In the fourth grade was the first time I was engaged to be married. And maybe that was the trajectory of my life. I have no idea. All right, so let me tell you when I first got engaged at 9. All right, so I was in elementary school, obviously. I was in the fourth grade. And a little boy likes me. His name was Antone. I have no idea, cannot remember his last name, but boy, I wish I could remember his last name to see if he remembers this. Who's commenting? Yep. All right. So in fourth grade, That was the first time someone proposed to me. So we're in fourth grade. Antone gets on his knees. First, you know how old I am when I tell you this. His favorite football player back then was Tony Dorsett. So that shows you how long ago it was. And I remember he would always talk about football. He would always talk about Tony Dorsett. All right. So he proposed marriage to me in the fourth grade. He got down on his knee and he asked me to marry him. And he had a big old diamond ring, like at 9. I don't know about real, fake diamond rings. He gave me a diamond ring. It was tape around it because it wouldn't fit. So he was smart enough to put tape around it. Ain't that crazy? So he put tape around it and he gave me this diamond ring and he proposed marriage. Everybody in the class was like, oh, snap. They about to get married, right? So the teacher saw it, really didn't say anything. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure if she called my mom. I'm not sure what happened, but I remember going home and telling my mom, your girl's getting married at 9. And she looked down at that ring. She said, well, where did you get that ring? And I said, Antone asked me to marry him and he gave me the ring. She looked at that ring. Somehow she got Antone's number because we weren't talking on the phone back then. Somehow she got Antone's number. She called his mom. And guess what, y'all? Antone's mom was looking for her wedding ring. It was real. I got a real diamond at 9. It was his mom's wedding ring. Huge diamond, the whole works, his mom's wedding ring. She's like, I was looking all over for my wedding ring. So clearly he knew about marriage. His mom had a wedding ring. She probably told him, you know, this is between me and your father. We have the ring. And honey, he bought the ring to me to school, to elementary school. So of course my mom was like, when you go back to school, make sure you give Antone that ring back because his mom was looking for her wedding ring. That was the first time I got engaged. And I must say, I've been engaged a couple of times after that and married a couple of times after that. So maybe that was the trend. Maybe that's because I have been married more than once and I have been engaged more than once. I told y'all going to get to know the real life stories of me. You're going to get to know more of me, and I don't mind sharing it because everything that has happened has brought me to this point. But maybe the life coach in me, now let's kick in. Maybe that's why I had been on the marriage train. Maybe that's why I had been on the relationship or engagement train. Maybe that's what I know, because at 9, when someone asks you to marry him, you think that that's what it's supposed to be. Hey, I'm just saying. But it's so funny because I have no idea where he is right now. I have no idea if he is living or if he's not. I have no idea what city he's in. And I can't even remember Antone's last name. I would love to have the conversation, but do you remember when you proposed to me when we were 9 in the 4th grade? Now, let me tell you more about that. Not just being engaged in the 4th grade, but 4th grade was a weird year for me. I've had a lot of experiences in the 4th grade. So when I'm working with these 4th graders, it brings back so many memories. So in that same 4th grade class, I was very gifted and talented, very smart. And they took me out of my regular 4th grade class and they put me into an advanced 4th grade class where I was learning French. Now, that might sound wonderful to some people, especially to a parent. Oh my God, my child's intelligent. She's learning French in the 4th grade. Now, I did not want to go into class with all them pocket protectors because Antone and my crew was in the other 4th grade class. But I had to transfer to that 4th grade class. Now, also, this is the same time period in 4th grade. In 4th grade, I was in 3 different classes. So when I think about being in 4th grade now with some of the kids, all this stuff comes back to me like, wow, you were in 3 different classes, 3 different teachers in the 4th grade. But nothing takes the cake of the memory of 4th grade, having a fiance. Hey, even if it was for 24 hours, that was the first time I was engaged. And there you have it. The first episode of What Had Happened was my real life story time. If you want me to do this a couple of days a week, I will. Trust me, I have stories. Let me just run down some of the stories I might have. Let me see. I wrote down so many because I have so many. And when I tell some of these stories to people, they're like, girl, you need to put these in a book. So let me see. I got stories about Jam Master Jay, which you'll hear. I got stories when I danced on TV and what had happened then. I got stories about when I danced on TV and who I met and what happened. I got stories about Houdini's Grandmaster D, real life, my stories. I got a story about meeting Bobby Brown. I got a story about giving New Edition their flowers. I have a story about the Jerry Lewis Telethon. I got stories about when I auditioned for Will Smith's Summertime video. I got stories about I Need Love, LL, tell you about that. I got stories about Arsenio Hall. I got stories about Reggie Jackson, the famed baseball player. I got stories about Oprah. Now, these are all personal stories. I got stories about my girl, Queen Latifah. She told me to say it again. I'll tell you about that. Now, these are all in-person stories. This is before virtual, not connecting on social media. I'm talking about real life stories. I got stories about a lot of stuff. Some will include people that you know and love, famous people, and some just some stories like when I was engaged in 4th grade. Let's see what you guys are saying. I can't wait to hear and watch. You remember me dancing on TV? Who's saying that? It just says Facebook user. Who remembers when I danced on TV? And I got a couple of those stories. I'm going to talk about a Valentine's Day story. One story. Well, I don't want to give them all away, but you got to watch this show. Y'all going to see a whole different version of me. You're going to know what I got up here in this vault. Trust when I tell you. And shout out to Leroy McKenzie Jr. because for some reason, every time we do our show, I end up slipping up with a story, not trying. Something relates to that story. And I'm sitting here like, maybe I'll put them in a book one day of short stories, or maybe I'll do it this way. So make sure you stay tuned for y'all. I'm laughing at myself because I know some of the stories and some of the shenanigans. And I won't tell this story, but I used to work for the president we had before this. And I'm not going to give that energy, but I did. And his name was on my checks. The president before now. Yep. All right. This was the first episode, soft episode of What Had Happened Was. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you come back anytime you see me go live. I could be doing it with this show. All right, let's see. Comments. You did too? Well, who? Oh, I can't. It just says Facebook user, so I can't tell. Is that TT? I don't know why, but honey, I got stories to tell. And if you want to be all up in my business, make sure you subscribe right here on my YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook Live, go on over to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. God bless. Peace.